Living the dream, as I always say. How about yourself?
Absolutely. Yeah. Always it's a different week every week in this industry. It's, dynamic is the understatement when it comes to Web3.
Every day when you wake up in crypto, there's something to get excited, argue over, be shocked, impressed. It's great. There's never a boring day.
Alex is probably laughing hysterically right now. It's been one of those weeks.
We're not allowed to use the word ZK, right? Yes, that's the big one today.
That's right. Everybody looks like we're good on speakers. So yeah, maybe we kick this off in a minute or two, Paul, and try to crank through this packed agenda.
Yeah, sounds good. Just try to get a middle L2 account up as a speaker.
How's everyone else doing? Having a good week? Give me a thumbs up, a heart emoji or something. Let me know how you're doing. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, it's been nice weather down here in Southern California. It's good to kind of get to summertime finally.
I'm looking forward to flying over. I'm out in 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, you're coming over. It's gonna be good to
Yeah.
see you. It's been a minute.
Wait, tell me about it.
Isn't it illegal for Southern Californians to talk about good weather?
I do not report me because I don't want to get fined for thought crimes under Gavin Newsom's new laws.
Oh man, we're already into politics 5 minutes into the spaces. No, I'm in Seattle, and we get about 2 months of phenomenal weather and a bunch of chilly gray weather. So let's say next time we have a retreat, we're coming your direction, Marshall.
Yeah, come south. I love Seattle though. It's a great town, beautiful. When it's sunny, of course. But I grew up in the snowiest city in America, so anything sounds good to me, basically.
Snowiest city in America. Let me guess. Is that
You gotta
somewhere
Google it.
like Michigan?
It's close, but a little further east. If you Google it, it'll come right up. Number one, snowiest city. I remember as a kid too. There was a blizzard in 1993, and I woke up one morning and there was snow all the way to the second floor of the house, and we opened the window and snow came through, and me and my friends went out and sledded off of all the neighbors' roofs.
That's insane. Okay, well, I'm curious now. I'll have to check that out.
It's Syracuse, New York. It's like as close as you can get to kind of like Canada area of upstate New York.
Nice.
Should we kick this thing off then?
Let's do it.
So yeah, I mean, perhaps we should do some intros from our side for Velodrome followers, people that haven't heard of Metallicus before. Maybe Marshall, you could give us a bit of an intro to Metallicus in the middle L2, perhaps.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people here probably are familiar with myself and Metallicus, but just to rewind it back, my name is Marshall Hayner, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Metallicus, and we are a digital payments company in the area of blockchain, where we've been focused since 2016 when we were first formed around bridging DeFi and TradFi and traditional banking. I'm an OG crypto guy myself and have been around for well over a decade. I guess you can say it's been, 15 years now or a little bit less. And, watching the crypto space evolve from kind of a nascent, we were hobbyists and we were playing on Bitcoin Talk and so forth to the modern banking stack and where the future of finance is going. And when I discovered Bitcoin in 2009, I got so excited because I thought, if this really does what I think it might do, it might decentralize finance for the web. And, flash forward almost 15 years later, it's doing just that. And I formed the company in 2016 with my co-founder and CTO, Glenn Marion. We met in the Dogecoin community. He built the first Dogecoin wallet. And we hit it off and formed Metallicus with this vision of bridging TradFi to DeFi. And we launched our Metal Pay app in 2018, which is basically kind of like the early crypto Venmo before Venmo had crypto. And we've since built out that platform, the Metal platform, to do everything from DeFi trading, lending, fiat ramping, and creating also a digital banking network with Metal blockchain, and ultimately connecting that to Metal L2, our new Ethereum scaling network, which is part of the Superchain, which is what we're talking about today. And we recently partnered with Velodrome, which we're very excited about because Velodrome is, in my opinion, the shining star of L2 dApps. It is the top DEX across all L2s, not just Ethereum, but everything. If you look, you can go to DeFi Llama is a good place to track that. But yeah, Metallicus was formed with a vision of connecting these two worlds. And we believe in the future that your bank will seamlessly integrate into the Web3 world, DeFi world. And, if you wanted to move dollars or euros or NZD or AUD or any currency, you should be able to do it seamlessly from your bank to the blockchain. And how do we go about doing that? And these are the tools that we're building at Metallicus. We started with the simple vision of crypto payments and expanded to digital banking network, and excited to talk about Metal L2 and Velodrome today.
Yeah, that's awesome. And maybe for the Metallicus listeners that are perhaps new to Velodrome, Ace, maybe you could give us a rundown on the history of Velodrome. And yeah.
For the history, I think
The short version.
Alex probably is great at telling this story in terms of the lore, so I'm going to let him take the
Okay.
torch.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Yes, this is Alex from Velodrome on the main account this afternoon. So Velodrome launched. We're close to our 2-year anniversary here on Optimism mainnet, and Velodrome was designed to be what we're calling a meta DEX, and that is a DEX that combines together the best of Uniswap, V2, and V3 of Curve, Convex, Vodium, all into a single streamlined layer that's designed to be kind of the central trading and liquidity hub. Initially of OP mainnet, of course, and we weren't first to OP mainnet, but I think we helped really kick things into high gear on OP mainnet. But now, of course, to be the trading and liquidity hub of the broader Superchain. So we've recently deployed to Mode, build on Bitcoin. Obviously, we're on our way to Metal L2, Lisk, and a whole bunch of others that you will be hearing about here soon.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I guess for a little bit more context, on May 18th, a proposal went live to deploy Velodrome on Metal L2, and part of that proposal, which passed unanimously actually with almost double the quorum. So people are very excited to see Velodrome deploy on Metal L2. But yes, as part of the proposal, there was a incentivization program essentially. Could you guys tell us a little bit more about how that would work, the rewards, the yield mechanisms for Metal on Velodrome, and how that will play out basically?
Sure. Yeah, we were very generously. I was very surprised and like in a very positive sense when it came to the results of the proposal. And obviously our teams hit it off well. And you guys were big supporters of us. And I think I mentioned I discovered Metal many years ago as well, and had been following your project and the progress and the network you built, and following through on a great vision. So if it was up to the 4 of us speaking, it probably would have been a little less nerve-wracking. But when it comes to Web3, there's the element of decentralization. And we crafted this proposal with your help to try and educate the community on the power of incentives for bootstrapping any chain, and that's something that we've learned through experience. And working with the Optimism team, the DeFi ecosystem within Optimism, the applications, the builders, it was fairly lean with Velodrome deployed in mid 2022. And DeFi was not new by any means, but it was hard to bootstrap a new chain without the incentives layer. And we discovered that through implementing the V33 flywheel, and working directly with the Optimism Foundation, and trying to get liquidity on a chain so there's enough for new builders to come in, new applications to build, composability on top of, etc. So we're essentially extending that success we had in Optimism to the Metal L2 through the addition of MTL incentives for the voting layer that Velodrome brings. Velodrome has a native token emission, the Velo token, which is awarded to liquidity providers. And there's basically the way that the Velo token is distributed is through how VE Velo, the locked Velo voters, decide where to allocate their votes each epoch. I always get the epoch words confused. Sorry. So MTL incentives are going to be available for all of the pools, for voters to essentially allocate their votes to. So it's going to be a nice way for the chain to bootstrap the required liquidity pools. It's a really excellent way of onboarding new eyeballs and new DeFi aware Velodrome users and voters to what's going on in the Metal ecosystem. And should attract plenty of liquidity for what it's needed to do on the Metal L2. In addition to potentially some newer protocols that we're looking to build on top of your new layer 2 superchain. So this is it's a really great way of bootstrapping not only the chain itself, but the ecosystem for the applications as well.
Yeah, this is great. I really feel like we're in good hands. Velodrome's an experienced team there, and you guys know what you're doing. So yeah, I'm very pleased the community saw what we saw, and voted in favor of working together and bootstrapping that liquidity and creating something awesome that people can come and enjoy. Right. So what kind of the proposal passed, I believe, a few days ago, May 25th. It ended. So what kind of timeline do you think we're looking at? When can people start coming over and start bringing their liquidity over?
Yeah, I'm happy to touch on that. So right now, the phase of the Superchain expansion that we're in is what we're calling the Superchain beta. And what that means is that we've deployed Velodrome instances onto Mode and Bob, and those instances right now are designed to be fairly standalone. This is just kind of our early deployments. And that means there's no voting and bridging of emissions yet. There's no incentivizing voters and getting that incentivization multiple yet.
they're kind of just the beginning of the expansion. But basically what we're working on, which is super exciting, is our Superchain 1.0. And in Superchain 1.0, which we expect to launch, probably somewhere in the next 30 to 60 days, basically how it will work is that, if you are on Metal L2, it will all be just a very seamless experience. It'll feel like a normal DEX. You'll be able to deposit liquidity, earn Velo emissions. You'll be able to swap and trade all of the tokens there. But if you want to get involved in sort of the direction of emissions, if you want to earn fees and voting incentives, you would take your Velo over to OP mainnet, lock it up, and then vote that way. And the really cool thing about what we're doing is we are reworking our front end to basically abstract away the need to switch between chains, right, when you're doing all of this sort of stuff. Because if you're maybe moving across the super chain, right, you're doing some liquidity on OP mainnet, you're maybe voting to direct emissions to Metal L2, you're claiming your rewards on Metal L2. You don't want to feel like you have to constantly switch between networks and interfaces and go through all that complexity. So we're working on some cool stuff that will make it feel very, very seamless kind of as you jump between the different functionalities in the chains that they live on. And for us, that's really just the start of things, because of course the vision of the broader super chain, right, is that all of that complexity should be abstracted away, that these layers should feel as cohesive as a single chain. And while that's going to take a bit longer to come together, there are things that we'll be able to do in the short, medium, and long term to start realizing that vision now.
Yeah, I'm just stoked we got started early, and we made the start already, so that's exciting. I guess yeah, we could. Marshall, do you want to maybe run through any future plans, where we're sort of heading with Metal L2? I don't know sort of how much, what we can talk about, what we can and can't talk about, but maybe Marshall, you're the best man for the job. Yeah, we've got some exciting things in the works though.
Absolutely, yeah. So some people may have noticed that we just rolled out Ethereum support for our non-custodial wallet WebAuth. This is kind of like the first piece of the puzzle. I'm a huge Apple fan. Just full disclosure. I had the first iPod V1, the brick, all of that, and I fell in love, over 25 years ago with Steve Jobs' vision of building a cohesive platform that just works, right? And one that's not just works, but works really well and kind of anticipates the things you want to do. When you think, hey, I want to do this, I want to get cash in my bank account, or I want to get crypto in the ecosystem, or I want to make a trade or do some lending, or use a wallet. A lot of this stuff is very complicated in crypto. People have lost a lot of money, not just for falling victim to some sort of phishing or scam or something, but just by losing keys. Or I can recall in the first few years of crypto, when there was only one crypto wallet. Imagine that, just one. It was called the Skildebach wallet, and it was only on Android. And I had some Litecoin on there, and one day Google pulled it from the Play Store, and there was no easy backup way to get the private key. Sorry, I got a call from the other line. I think it might have interrupted my mic. But flash forward from that time frame, 2012 to modern day, right? Over a decade later, now we have much better wallets, but you still have a lot of issues with people. Like if you just go onto X right now and just tweet MetaMask help, watch what happens, right? Not that that's avoidable, but the software that we use needs to be very secure and very user intuitive. And so when we built WebAuth, we had that vision in mind, that not only we want to have web authentication. So we want to be able to use the native browser. We want to use a secure enclave. Maybe 5-10 years ago in crypto, everybody was very concerned about hardware wallets, and they still should be. But the idea of the hardware wallet is evolving, right? You have the secure enclave in your device, in iOS, in Android devices, on your computer. And now with passkeys, a lot of this stuff is synced. So, why should we leave the browser to make transactions? And I've seen Coinbase Wallet and Binance Trust Wallet and others kind of experimenting with this. But WebAuth.com, we are the original web authentication wallet in crypto. And so in doing that, we want to launch web authentication for the Superchain and by proxy for Ethereum. And you're going to see that roll out with WebAuth pretty soon. This was kind of our first, kind of line in the sand to say, okay, this wallet now supports Ethereum. Expect it to support all of the Superchain. Expect it to support other L2s, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, other applications. But we wanted to get that web authentication experience, not only from an amazing user experience where you don't leave Chrome or Safari, don't leave your browser, but all of your devices are now synced. You lose a device, just remove it. And furthermore, into the future, as we start to issue metal identity on different chains, I don't want to type out all my information every time I sign up for something, take a selfie, put up my ID, do all this stuff. No, that's tiring. It's ridiculous. And in some cases, the person on the other side shouldn't even have access to that data because they're going to lose it, or the entity's going to lose it. So, or maybe doesn't even need it. So how do we obfuscate that experience? So these are some of the first things you're going to see coming from us at the Metallicus side. But in partnering with Velodrome, we're really excited because it's incredible DEX, it's incredible DApp, proven on Base, proven on Optimism, and we feel that the products that we're making with MetalPay, and soon we're about to launch our our white labeled API and SDK, which is an evolution of the Metal API, we're calling Metal Pay Connect, which you're going to see coming out pretty soon. We want to have all of the dApps and builders have a native experience. So in the past in Web3, you typically have a widget or something like that that has all this other companies or other equity brand equity all over it that's not your brand. Well, it should say Velo. It should say Velodrome. Velo's dApp should feel native to that brand. So when you type in your credit card, all that information, it shouldn't feel like you're popping out, going to a separate site, and then getting a 30 to 40% failure rate, right? Where they lock your bank card, right? That's the experience now, unfortunately. And Metallicus, as a licensed money service business and money transfer company, we have that experience around traditional payments. We know where the pain points are. We know how to get higher success rates, better experience, lower rates, faster delivery times. And our 5-year, 10-year vision, you will sign up with a partner bank that's connected to Metal blockchain, and you'll just withdraw your fiat right on the chain, right into the Velo dApp. Make some profits, want to put it into your checking account, boom, it's done at the speed of Superchain. It's confirmed in your bank account. So, I believe that a lot of crypto exchanges and platforms are going to start to go into this direction where they're building these tools that connect banks and modern FI. And we're already starting to see the very beginning of it when you look at like BlackRock and BUIDL. That's more of an institutional thing, but it's a bridge from institutional finance to DeFi. And so, the first things you're going to see are going to be more around some of the wallet tooling, Metal Pay Connect, fiat tooling. We're really excited because we built a lot of these different things, and getting the opportunity to partner and work with Velodrome has been incredible because they're top-notch builders. They have an amazing community, and we're excited because we have something really special that we feel, we have just been looking for the right partners on the DeFi side. And since we started Metal L2, it's been an awesome experience at Metallicus because we've just been blessed with the opportunity to meet people like Ace and Alex and the Velodrome team and meet other teams that you're going to be hearing about soon. And we've just built an awesome stack to create that bridging experience, but also for the builders, knowing that their users are going to be safe and have a seamless experience. And that's something that we hear a lot when people talk about using Metal Platform and Metallicus's apps and tools that, hey, it just works. It's really seamless.
Yeah, Alex always says we want the Superchain to feel as seamless as using the internet. You've abstracted away all of the complexity of the underlying, piping essentially, right? The cloud provider, the hosting, the internet, and it's just basically like you are clicking and pointing and things are getting done. And that's what's exciting about the Superchain because it's still built on Ethereum, but it's the most accessible version that's sustainable and anybody can use anywhere in the world at any cost. And it's just like this is it's funny how far we've come and how close we are to realizing that vision. So that's why we picked the Superchain as well.
Yeah, and I think the other awesome thing about the Superchain is just that, Vitalik wrote published a great article about it last night. It's in my feed. I retweeted it, talking about kind of the culture of L2s. And, there are a lot of L2s popping up there. I even saw a funny meme where it was like a chimp, sadly trying to put a nail into a piece of wood. And they were like, Ethereum people watching Bitcoin people try to make L2s. There's going to be a lot of L2s coming, right? The experience around the L2s I believe is exactly what Vitalik said it's going to be. It's more of a cultural thing. So maybe it's Zora, with NFTs, right? Or it's Base because of Coinbase's penetration and products. Or maybe it's WorldCoin in the developing world where people are accessing these tools. Or maybe it's Metal where you've got a dApp and you built all the crypto stuff and what you need is a connection to the traditional fiat world. But you realize, hey, that's going to take millions and millions of dollars and years to get all my licenses. Is there someone that's not going to put their brand all over my app? And also, if you wanted to build anything in crypto, chances are you're looking at Ethereum first, right? It's the number 2 largest cryptocurrency in the world, and it has staying power. Lots of people over the years, I've heard XYZ, Ethereum killer. Well, wake me up when Ethereum gets killed because I honestly don't see that happening anytime soon. It's where a majority of all the TVL is, and it's where the culture. I saw another funny meme where it was like the culture of crypto between Bitcoin and Ethereum couldn't be any different. It's a guy with like an axe and a gun and some steak or whatever, and then someone in a unicorn T-shirt. Representing Ethereum or whatever, but it's true. There is a big cultural difference. But what I notice is that the Superchain is very welcoming, and it's where all the TVL is. It's where a lot of the activity is. Solidity is the number 1 smart contracting language. If you're another chain, chances are you probably support Solidity. Many of the other L1s have focused on that. And so when I look at where you want to be on the Superchain, and Velodrome and the Velo team is the top DEX and dApp, and Metallicus with the Metal L2 I think is just an amazing place to build, an amazing place to ramp. In the Superchain world, Base was kind of the, default ramp L2 chain, and now we have another one. Just a different culture though, right? Sorry, I got quiet here. I don't know if Paul is on mute, but I can kind of,
yes.
Yeah, can you hear us?
Yeah, I think, what else do we need to cover, I guess? What can you do on Metal L2 now? Well, you can, the bridge is available on Superbridge. I think we've got support coming for web authors, that right, Marshall? Soon, I believe.
Yeah. And just to add some color, I can't speak for Velo team's timeline for launching, but so we just made an announcement yesterday giving the official snapshot and airdrop date for Metal L2. So this is when exchanges, other partners that integrate Metal can go live. And we're going to be, hopefully you'll be hearing some other announcements as those come. But after the 26th, that's when the bridge will open for MTL to the L2, the super bridge. And so that's kind of when you can expect some of the big things to be happening. Right now, you're seeing a lot of dApps and people come in. You're going to see more and more proposals coming up on the dashboard. Right now, we're using the XPR network governance dashboard because it just works really well. And I think that a lot of our community really likes it. When I tried to use Snapshot, it's a decent platform, but it is very complicated and no one ended up using it. So we have been talking to some other really great, I don't want to pre-announce anything, but we've been talking to some other great L2 dashboards, governance protocols that we think are really great. And so hopefully we'll see some of them come over as well. We'll see more proposals leading up to the snapshot and airdrop date. And after that period, some people have asked us, hey, I have MTL, I have Metal in MetalPay, or I have it in, Metal X, or I have it in Loan Protocol. You don't have to worry because we built a seamless platform for that upgrade. You don't have to do anything, right? So if you have it in your WebAuth wallet, for example, you'll open it up and you'll see the option just to tap right into Metal L2 and boom, there's your MTL. And bridging will be seamless as well. And all of the partners that we've been talking to, we're working with them to create a seamless experience on this day. So after that period, you'll be able to access the L2 with those partners as they announce. But yeah, in general, some of the exciting things leading up to this launch, I would say Velodrome is obviously one of the most exciting things out there that, one of the most exciting partners to come. But yeah, I kind of briefly mentioned our secrets, our secret project that we're working on that we haven't really come out of the shell yet to share. But yeah, we're calling it code word MetalPay Connect. This product is really going to be that fiat bridging. And we want to take it beyond just card payments for credit and debit, but all different types of ramps. And so we're really excited about faster payment and new federal payment rail systems. And so to the extent that we can add those, we'll be adding real-time payments as well. And also, this is kind of like a longer stretch goal. This is probably by the end of this year or next year, but connecting Metal blockchain to Metal L2, where we are working with banks and credit unions and financial institutions to create their own private subnet ledgers. That's kind of like the next big thing, but probably I would say a year or so away. Banks are not known for moving at high speed, but the reception that we've got has been overwhelming, from both sides, from the crypto side and from the DeFi side. And yeah, I'm just excited over this next year to kind of see all that come together. But yeah, from us, expect a lot of big updates and upgrades into WebAuth, web authentication on Superchain, and the fiat ramps, faster payments inside the fiat ramps, other options beyond just card-based payments. I'd love to bring ACH back, but it's funny, as we're doing a lot of this work in research, one of the things we're finding out is some of these older systems like ACH, that's a broken system using secure file transfer protocol. I see Alvosak Mersad in the audience. I know he's probably laughing because it's like, that's our financial system is built on a 30-year-old transfer protocol. That's crazy. Why not use blockchain for that? But yeah, as we start to evolve those technologies, you're going to see more and more of them on the consumer side and available. And our goal is over the next few years that interaction between all of your financial apps, your bank, and dApps like Velodrome and L2 is just, one tap, very easy, no middleman, no waiting time. If anything, you get rewarded for doing activities instead of punished and having your funds held and frozen and stuck in delays and things like that. I think that we'll really have won as an industry when we can prove that this technology beats everything else, right? And people right now will say, oh, well, I can use Venmo and I can make a payment and there is no gas fee, or there is no, gas fee. Well, I think Metallicus has proved that we can make payments without gas fees on chain. We can make payments globally for pennies, on Superchain. And ultimately, when it comes to the idea of, stable coins, central bank digital currency, digital identity, none of that stuff has to be scary. It should be like Apple. It should be a cool, rewarding experience that's seamless. And so expect a lot coming out of us over the next year, especially around the WebAuth and MetalPay side.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's always a pleasure hearing from you, Marshall, and it gets me excited and kind of inspired. You talk you're so passionate, and so yeah, we've got a lot going on at Metallicus. It's very exciting, especially exciting linking up with the team at Velodrome, and yeah, more things to come. I think yeah, watch the space. I think we could probably wrap it up here. I think we've more or less covered everything on our agenda. Yeah, any final words, Marshall, Alex, or Ace?
I was going to ask Ace and Alex, what do you guys see coming in the Velo world over this year, and just stuff that you can share, but like, where do you see the MetaDex going? And it seems like you guys have a really big vision to bring it across the entire Superchain. You guys are also launching your own Superchain L2 network. What's next for Velodrome?
Yeah, you touched on some of it. One thing that we are very focused on right now is the sort of launch and expansion of Slipstream, and Slipstream is our novel version of UniV freestyle concentrated liquidity. So if you are listening and want to take Velodrome for a spin before it launches on Metal L2, feel free to come on over. There's some great APRs for liquidity providers, and you can start experimenting with locking and voting and all that fun stuff. But it's definitely to be not only the top liquidity DEX on any ecosystem that we're in, but the top volume driving DEX. And then, yeah, it really is a focus on launching this Superchain 1.0 product across a bunch of different superchains. And I think Optimism has a lot more superchains yet up their sleeves to announce. And we're going to be working closely with them to support those launches, to bootstrap liquidity on those ecosystems, and sort of start bringing to market this novel interoperability technology. And yeah, I mean, we're of course just very bullish on the Superchain. We think it has clearly sort of established itself as the leading solution for anybody who's building a layer 2, and the network effects of that I think are going to be fantastic. So that's what we're looking forward to.
Well, it's an honor to be working together with you guys, and I think our community inside the metal community is really pumped to see Velodrome joining us, and the vision of the Slipstream and the MetaDex just makes so much sense. It's very much aligned with stuff we're building over here at Metallicus, and yeah, we're really excited to collaborate, and it's going to be an awesome launch, I think, for Velodrome on Metal L2. Here.
All right, thanks guys. Good talking.
It's been a pleasure. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks again, everyone. Have a great day. And thanks, Ace, for joining us, and Alex from Velodrome. It's really great to have you guys on.
Excited to work together, guys.
Cheers.